Okay, so it's really important for you to not only know your federal rights, but your state rights. So there's a federal statute for credit reporting, and there's a state statute for collection of debts that you fall behind. So let's start with the federal statute and what that means for you. There's a 7-year statute per the Fair Credit Reporting Act. That means accounts can stay on your credit report for up to 7 years from the time you fall behind on those accounts. So for instance, if you go ahead and incur a medical debt, it's 7 years from the time you incur the debt, the account can be reported on your credit report. Likewise, if you get a vehicle repossessed, then it's 7 years from the time of repossession that the debt could stay on your credit report. This 7-year period goes ahead and applies to every type of account except for student loans which do not expire, that can stay on your credit report indefinitely, or anything owed to the government. Taxes no longer show up on your credit report, but those could be collected upon for 10 years, and anything owed to issues like child support or what have you. Bankruptcies will stay on your credit report for 10, but generally everything else cannot stay on your credit report for more than 7 years. Now, let's move to the state statute. Every state has its own statute for debts. The statute of limitations for debts determines how long you could be sued for a debt. For instance, in California, there is a 4-year statute of limitations. What that translates into is that if you fall on a debt today, the creditor has up to 4 years to take you to court. Now, they're not going to take you to court over $500-600, but if you owe somebody $2,000 or more, they can take you to court. So what if you have debts that are large in amount that are within the statute of limitations? Well, I do not recommend that you go ahead and tackle these debts unless you're in a position to settle those. Now, debts that are past the statute of limitations, you could go ahead and challenge them with impunity if you think the amounts are incorrect or what have you, or the dates are incorrect. But debts that are within the statute of limitations, especially in California, if the statute of limitations is 4 years, if you have debts that are tens of thousands of dollars or so, you do not want to go ahead and awaken a sleeping giant by questioning those debts. You should wait out the 4-year period. Now, let's go to settling large debts that are within the statute of limitations. So let's just say if you have a $10,000 debt and a $2,000 debt, that's within the statute of limitations, meaning that it was incurred within the last 4 years or so, you could potentially be sued, but you're looking to settle those. Rule of thumb is that creditors will settle anywhere from between 20 to 40 to 50% of the original amount that was owed. So if you owe somebody $2,000, they're probably likely to settle for $1,000, 50% or so. But if you owe somebody $10,000 or $15,000, they may be able to talk down to maybe 20 or 30% of that amount. So a $10,000 debt may end up being settled for $2,000 or $3,000 for that matter of fact. So the larger the debt, the more likely you are to get a lesser settlement. If you owe somebody $200-300, they're probably not going to come down on that small of an amount. So keep that in mind when you reach out to settle debts. And if you owe somebody really large debts, that's where a good credit repair company can come in and possibly help with bringing up some violations to use that as leverage to bring down the amounts that they're claiming you need to pay them. Now, don't just go ahead and settle debts and pay them off, because settling debts and paying them off is going to do no favors for your credit report. Debts need to be deleted. Charge-offs, collections, late payments, all the stuff, paying that off is not going to help. They need to be deleted for your score to increase. Now with collection companies, half of the collection companies may agree to delete, half of the collection companies have no policy to delete. If you have a original creditor at hand like Bank of America, Chase, or a auto loan company or what have you, even if you pay them, they're going to show the debt as paid off, but still it's going to show the late payments of the negative history. So that does nothing to your credit score to pay those off. If a creditor or a collection company does not agree to delete, that's where a credit repair company can help and get those expunged for you and get your score up. And that is what here my team does at IMAX. So if you have large debts that are within the statute, we could help settle those for pennies to the dollar and make sure that they're deleted from your credit report and don't pop back up on your credit report. So once again, don't make the mistake of just blindly paying off your debts, because you're gonna be out of thousands of dollars and see no improvement to your credit score. I hope this information is helpful, and please use these tips that I've provided you in this video to improve your credit score.